Quills, also known as a jumping dagger or baby Estoc, is another new unique weapon introduced with the release of Ashes of Ariandel DLC update. It has plenty of interesting properties ranging from understandable to borderline gimmicky. Before we start inspecting all those properties, let's inspect its moveset. Being a paired weapon of rapier in right hand and Quills in left hand, right hand offers borderline stock rapier moveset. Dashing attack is useless poke, R1 is okayish poke, rolling attack is mediocre poke, and R2 is long range charged poke. Yay, much variety. However, it is all about its offhand, the Quill moveset. It offers some interesting options, as it utilizes the rapier as much as the quills themselves. First up is L2. L2 is jump and attack that allows your character to get in the air and roll the quills that are usually held in the left hand. Those don't really do much damage and they don't have any hyper armor, so why would you use it? Because unlike regular throwing knives, quills do actually stun your opponent. Quite handy. If you perform R2 after L2, your character extends the setup with a charged long range thrust as a follow-up. Another unique attack that can be used to catch your opponent off guard. Next up is L1, and it's a very weird claw slap that, as we will learn later, does not seem to combo at all. However, next L1 in the chain is a chain of rapier pokes, and the third L1 is a long range charge poke that can serve as a roll catch. Now the dashing L1 is actually unique, since it's not really a dashing attack, it's actually a jumping attack. It has hyper armor and a very bad tracking. Yeah, don't really try to land it. Now you can probably guess already. This weapon will have a lot of combos. We start with probably the most useful combo, R1 into L1. Now it's a very weird combo because it does connect, but only for a few swings off of the L1. My silly theory suggests that From did fuck up the coding on it, and instead of L1 being multi-hit attack, it counts each hit as a separate attack, thus resetting the hit stun. Nonetheless, R1 L1 connects most of its swings and can be very deadly if you're using some kind of a buff on top of it. Keep in mind that despite R1 L1 L1 not being a true combo, the long-winded charged poke that comes with the extra L1 can be used to catch your opponent off guard, so it may be worth using it. Speaking of non-true combos that are worth using, R1 R1 L1 is very similar to Saber combo, or rather the roll catch. If your opponent mashes the roll button, he gets hit. The damage output on this is similar to the normal R1 L1 combo, again worth a shot. Next up are two silly combos that don't really have much of use, but are still worth mentioning. The dashing L1 into R1. Dashing L1 is pretty hard to land and you'd better be off using something more convenient as a starter. Same goes for the R2 R1 combo that can be executed after L2 attack, since it requires that charged R2 in order to combo. This can be useful if you catch your opponent with R2 after the quill throw and want to capitalize on it. So far, so good, but what about its unique properties? Well, two things are worth mentioning. First one is that it's a dex weapon. This means that it gets S scaling in dex when infused sharp. So no matter, even if you are on a pure quality 40-40 build, Quills still have more AR when infused sharp as opposed to any other infusion, including refined. Being a rapier with 130 critical modifier, it is an excellent tool for criticals. In fact, the new best one. It can't match Mailbreaker when infused raw, however on any real build with at least 40 dex, Quills will do notably more damage at only whatever the extra weight you have to carry, because they're obviously heavier than Mailbreaker. Second thing, the offhand Quills will react to your main hand buff in a very weird way. I'm pretty sure I'm the only person that is covering this, so nothing unusual for you guys, my science is the best one. Anyway, when you buff Quills with resin or regular buff, you can see the quill animation change to reflect the buff you're using, however damage is still the same. So no matter how you buff the rapier part, despite quill part adjusting its animation to reflect the buff, there is no added damage, except for one very special resin. If you apply Cardus Rouge to the rapier part, the quills will be able to trigger the bleed. This means that with 2 well-placed L2s, and by well-placed I mean 2 quill throws with all 4 quills being right on target, you can bleed your opponent. It's pretty useless, but worth a mention, an odd gimmick for sure. Well, what about builds, you may ask? My first suggestion is to pair it with Katana. Katanas always went well with rapiers, and with quills being a pure dex weapon, it'd be stupid to not make a build pairing it with Chaos Blade. With both heaven as scaling in dex, you can go up to 99 dex, so that our 1L1 combo matches the damage output of some of the great swords. Another worthy suggestion is to go 40 dex and 40 faith. This allows you to use a buff with quills, making it especially deadly on arena. Due to it having a good multi-hit combo, you are almost guaranteed 600 or 700 damage if you land it with a buff. It can be very nasty on arena, where you face players without Ember. So there you have it, around 15% less range than on Estoc, which is enough to make it noticeable, yet it has hefty attack rating and sick combos that are designed to compensate for its lack of range. It can be very annoying jumping Dagger, or it can be a baby Estoc with combos. It's all up to you. One thing for sure, I am very happy that we got another viable pure dex weapon. Again, hooray, more variety is always a good thing. Thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.